most frequently asked questions. Why do we have hair on our head? Most of the hair on our body grows from the skin. It acts like a hat that keeps the warmth in when the weather is cold and the heat out when it is too hot. How do bruises appear? If we hurt ourselves, we can get an injury under the skin. Blood vessels break and spread into the tissue near the injury. The dark color of the blood shows through the skin as a bruise. Do we have tears in our eyes only when we cry? A lot of tears flow from our eyes when we cry. These are visible to us. However, some tears are always present in the eyes, which help wash away the dust and keep our eyes healthy. Why do some people need glasses? As light enters our eyes, it passes through a lens. This lens bends the rays of the light to focus them at the back of the eye. But in some people, the lens cannot bend the light rays properly. Glasses help them to see clearly by focusing the light rays at the back of the eye. Why do we get hungry? We feel hungry if we don't eat for a long time. Our stomach becomes empty and our brain tells us that the blood is running out of energy. Hunger reminds the body that it needs to eat again. Why do our teeth decay? Food that we eat sticks to our teeth and germs thrive on it. As germs feed, they produce acid that can wear holes or cavities in our teeth. Why do we put on weight? Food produces energy and makes our body strong. If we eat more than our body needs, the food will not be used up. Instead, it will be stored in our body as fat and we put on weight. What is hiccup? A thin sheet of muscle called the diaphragm lies just below our lungs. Usually, it moves up and down at a steady pace, making you breathe. But sometimes the diaphragm twitches, causing a sudden intake of air which is interrupted by our throat closing. That's when we hiccup. Why does our nose run? Inside our nose, there is a moist lining. When we catch a cold, the lining makes more moisture to try and wash the germs out, making our nose run. What is diabetes? Diabetes mellitus, often simply referred to as diabetes, is a condition in which a person has a high blood sugar level, either because the body does not produce enough insulin or because body cells don't properly respond to the insulin that is produced. Insulin is a hormone produced in the pancreas which enables body cells to absorb glucose to turn into energy. If the body cells do not absorb the glucose accumulates in the blood, hyperglycemia, leading to vascular, nerve and other complications. Human body has to maintain the blood glucose level at a very narrow range, which is done with insulin and glucagon. The functions of glucagon is causing the liver to release glucose from its cells into the blood for the production of energy. What causes heart attack? The human body is a very complicated and wonderful system. However, sometimes a part of the body or an organ might not function properly, leading to health problems. The very common case of that in a person is heart attack. The arteries may get considerably narrowed down or choked due to the gradual deposition of a fat-like substance called cholesterol. This restricts the flow of blood in the arteries. This makes the heart work more and it becomes beyond the capacity of the heart, to supply enough volumes of blood as the demand of body goes on. This results in hard labor of heart to pump blood to tissues, and the failure results in what we call heart attack. Hardening or stiffening of the arteries also causes heart attack. Other heart-related problems could be malfunctioning of the valves of the heart or its pacemaker system. Blood clots in blood vessels cause blockage of vessels leading to heart-related problems. What is appendicitis? Appendicitis is an inflammation of the appendix. The appendix is a hollow tube about 8 to 15 centimeters long, closed at the end. It is found at the beginning of the large intestine in the lower right portion of the abdomen. It has no function as such, and our body can easily manage without it. Sometimes the content of the intestine enter the appendix. If it remains there, it becomes hard, thereby squeezing the veins of the appendix. This cuts off the blood flow and may cause infection. The typical symptoms of the appendix are pain, tenderness, and spasm in the right side of the abdomen. In children, the first symptoms of the appendicitis may be crying, vomiting, and refusing to eat. A person suffering from acute appendicitis has only one remedy, and that is surgery to remove the appendix. What is a reflex action? When your leg suddenly touches a sharp object or your hand accidentally touches an extremely hot object, you just bounce back without thinking. This reaction of your body is known as a reflex action. The sensory nerve takes the message of pain to the spinal cord. The spinal cord is a long cord which arises from the medulla oblongata of the brain and runs all along the vertebral column. It has the grey matter. The information received by the spinal cord is processed here. The motor nerve takes the message from the spinal cord to the concerned organ. These two nerves constitute the reflex ear. Spinal cord is the center of reflex action. Some of the quick or reflex actions could be movement of eyelids, sneezing, shivering, etc. The impulse reaching the spinal cord also reaches the brain, but by that time the danger is over. What are blood groups? Human blood contains two important types of factors: antibodies and antigens. Antibodies are found in the serum of the blood and antigens on the surface of red blood cells. Antigens are of two kinds, A and B. A person having only antigen A is said to have blood group A. A person having only antigen B is said to have blood group B. A person having both antigens A and B is said to have blood group AB. A person having neither antigen A nor B is said to have blood group O. Similarly, antibodies are of two kinds, A and B. Antibody A attacks antigen A, causing damage to the red blood cells that make them clot. Similarly, antibody B and antigen B can make the blood clot. So, these antigens and antibodies do not occur in the same blood. Therefore, group A blood should never be mixed with group B or group AB. A person having group O blood can donate blood to all persons and is also called universal donor. A person having group AB can receive blood from all persons and it is therefore called universal recipient.